So once again, I'm Ian Booth, and I'm the founder of Sustainable Now, and I'm so glad to have all of you here for part two of the symposium, Four Futures for Mountain Farmland, Rethinking Sustainability and Land Use in the Mountain Area. The second part of the symposium is basically going to come from the perspective of a case study. Focusing on the possibilities for one particular place, that being a pristine, historic family farm. And you've been seeing these photos all day of that farm, and the name of that farm is Old Coggins Place. And it adjoins the campus that we are on right now. Bull Creek separates the two. So the Old Coggins Farm is on the west side of the Warren Wilson College land. And what we're going to be doing is looking at the possibilities for that farm from the perspective of agriculture, from the perspective of development, from innovation and conservation. And a series of speakers are going to help us think through how you would look at this farm in the context of each of those. And we'll also be looking at a couple more big picture ways of looking at things, how you frame the thinking around public policy and land use. Just to give you a quick piece of history about the farm, one of the people that's in the room with us, Ron Ainspan, has lived on the farm for over 30 years and has farmed this farm. And so I'm going to read to you the text of an email that he sent me as a request for just a brief history. Becky Anderson gave us a wonderful history, a overall sense of who we are as a community, as a region. And this will give us a little more specific sense about the farm that we're doing the case study on. Ron writes, "The history as I know it is this. The land was bought by John Craig, the first treasurer of Buncombe County, in 1794. Craig was killed near Bull Creek about 15 years later. Craig owned land in the Bull Creek area, also known as Riceville, and also in Bee Tree Valley. In the Civil War, the Craig boys died, and Jane Craig married a Melton, and later a Melton descendant married a Coggins, hence the name, the Old Coggins Farm. In the early and mid-20th century, the land was owned by Henry Allen Coggins. Henry Allen was a founder of the Farmers Federation, an influential farmers co-op, in 1920. He was known as the mayor of Bee Tree and served as a member of the Bee Tree Liars Club. That was an informal group, or gang, it says here, of local tall tale tellers. And as Becky pointed out, we're really good at capitalizing on being able to tell tall tales and get paid for it. They call it storytelling. George, Henry Allen's son, bought the Bull Creek property from his brothers and sisters in the mid-1960s. The property was handed down to George's daughter, the present owner, in the late 1980s. In the early 80s, the land was farmed by Ron Ainspan, who organized the North Asheville Tailgate Market about 30 years ago, and Mountain Food Products, a wholesale produce company, committed to featuring locally grown farm products. Also in the mid-80s, the farm was designated a North Carolina Century Farm by the North Carolina Department of Agriculture. It is a bona fide historic treasure. Over the past 25 years, the land has served as an incubator for several organic farms, including Full Sun Farm, Gaining Ground Farm, and the Blue Ribbon Farm. So that farm is the subject of part two of the symposium. And as our first presenter,